Hello everybody, it's Celeste and I'm here to do a tarot reading for this week. This is the week of Thanksgiving for those of you who celebrate Thanksgiving. I will probably, I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to do a writing or empowerment video this week just because of the holiday and things going on, but I will definitely be back next week. If you don't see one from me later this week, look for it next week. I'll be doing at least one of those types of videos where I talk about creativity, writing, or sacred writing practices, tying it all together. And I'll definitely be back with some tarot. So anyway, so this reading is going to be for tuning into one specific storyline in the collective this week. I want to get one really good storyline for you today. So what's going on in the collective, Spirit? What's going on with one specific storyline in the collective? Who needs my guidance today? All right, here we go. 1, 2, oh, okay. Oh, yeah, okay. So what we have here is the inverted Ace of Wands, the Devil inverted, and the Page of Wands. So you are working through some really, really heavy energy that has to do with not believing in your passion, okay? You've got, I'm actually getting a calling here. This is someone's calling, and this is the forces that have been kind of keeping you off track, the things that have been getting in your way, stressing you out, sabotaging you. And then what this is you're ready to let go of that. You're really ready to move forward, to release this, whatever this is, and move into the space of beginning on your journey. So you've had an idea, you've had a calling, and there have been lots of things that have been holding you up, and you're ready to step forward into this new path, which is very, very exciting. And also, as you can imagine, this energy of the Devil, which is your, that's your kind of your dark side. That's your tendency to get in your own way. You know, bad habits, letting other people control you, letting other people have a say basically in how you know, and whether you stay in the old situation or move on to the new one. So there's a little bit of that energy clinging. If it weren't, even though you're ready to be over it, it's still kind of there. So that's what I'm getting this reading is going to be about. A few more details on this story here. What is the calling about, Spirit? Tell us more about this calling. I'm going to pull some clarifiers on the Ace of Wands. There's one. This is going to require you to move out of your comfort zone. You are looking at it as a bit of an adventure, which is a really great way to look at it. But it's definitely a risk. There's risk involved. You know, the waters look calm on the surface, but you're definitely she's gonna be surfing, so there's gonna be some waves to ride. And you know that. And there's a lot that you don't know about this thing yet. You've got to learn. Okay, so a couple of different messages about the moon here for different people, okay, is what I'm getting. So for one set of people, there's a situation where you have a lot to learn still about this passion that you have. There's a lot you don't know, and you're intimidated by how much you don't know. That's the Devil coming in. you're intimidated and you keep stepping back from that process, whatever it is, you keep stepping back from it. Like you don't, like, it's scary, so I don't want to go there, so I tend to stay in my comfort zone kind of energy. Another thing is that maybe you haven't told anybody about this. Maybe you're keeping it a secret, and you know that stepping forward onto the path, of course, is going to make it not a secret anymore to people, and that can be a little bit intimidating. That can be what holds you back, is your fear of other people's judgment, or your fear of other people's jealousy, your fear of other people's tendency to stick their fingers in what you're doing and have an opinion. And also, I'm also getting, for some of you, there's a fear that there's kind of a fear of like being misled, either by your passion or by others. You're just a little bit worried about like maybe bad information. Like what if, like it's that feeling of, what if I spend my money on this class and it doesn't teach me what I want to know? Or what if I go after this thing and I kind of meet like false leaders along the way. There's something about that for somebody. That's not for everybody, but there's something about that for somebody. You're worried about your investment. All right. More about the devil energy. What's been locking you up? What's lingering in the back of your mind that you're ready to move on from? You are ready to move on from this devil energy, but what is it? Okay. Yeah, I was getting that from the first card. I love how that came out to tell me that I was right. You've been holding back this is like, you know that this calling is like your gift. It's yours, and it's always been yours to share, and you have been so hesitant to share it. You have been really enjoying this thing from a place of personal power. This could be, if you're a writer, and most of the people that I read for are, not everybody, you could be creating something else. You could be a photographer, you could be an artist. It's not necessarily writing, but I do kind of gear my readings toward writers. But whatever this passion is, it is something that you have always done for yourself, and you haven't necessarily kept it a secret, but you've almost hoarded it to yourself. And when I say hoarding, that sounds kind of, it's always kind of a negative connotation, but there can also be this tendency to like really treasure something so much that we're afraid to bring it into the light. We're afraid to, like let other people, we don't want other people to pop our bubble. Okay, and they're telling me that there's this tendency of us in our youth to want to pick like the reasonable path, the safe job or whatever. So you probably thought along the line that you want to do this thing and you want to go a little bit bigger with it. You want to kind of come out of the shadows with it and make it more a part of your life. Maybe even some of you want to make it a job, and wonder what the path will look like to get there. But you have been told that, making it work will make it hard. But there has been an ease basically like doing this thing on your own. When you're alone, you really feel in control of it, and you just don't, there's something about it that you don't want to share. You're afraid to share it. You're afraid to let it out there into the world, because then that means other people can pop your bubble. They can stick a pin in it and find problems with it. And you're a little afraid of how you're going to feel when people criticize, when you work with a teacher. Like when you start to take a class, you have to kind of admit that maybe your work isn't as great as you thought it was when you were just enjoying it for yourself. You have to now deal with an audience. The High Priestess does not have an audience. right? She holds space. She might have, like, this is even really about having people that follow you. This is about being sovereign. The High Priestess has her connection to the divine. It's just her and the divine. And you're stepping out of that energy into this, into the light, really, where other people can see you, into the spotlight, they're saying. Or you may be. At first, it'll just be teachers and peers and things that you're sharing your work with. Clarify Page of Wands. This is sort of this is your desire. This is what you're ready for. You want to step into that passion. First of all, you're afraid of, you're afraid that you have to move on from something in order to do this. You think you have to move on from something in order to do this. And that may be the case for some of you. Some of you may just think that you have to. It's a dream. It feels like a dream to you, this thing. Like, you know that you want to do it, but something about it feels like a dream, and it feels like stepping into that dream, like it's fragile. Again, that bubble popping thing, like you're a little bit afraid that the dream will fizzle, or like if you put more pressure on it, that it's gonna like evaporate and go away. All right, I want to get some more into, that's quite a story right there, and I think it's probably pretty relatable. What is this person not seeing? So what are you not seeing? What are you not seeing about this situation? I love to start to reveal like the unconscious stuff, the stuff that, this is like all that you can think about. This is what's in the forefront of your mind. This is what your conscious mind is telling you. And then we start digging into the unconscious mind a little bit. And the wisdom there can be really astounding sometimes. Like the little voice of wisdom inside of us. All right. We have the Knight of Swords. This is like an intellectual agility. I love seeing those knights here. Okay, this is, when I see a knight, I think about readiness. I think about somebody who's going to be, so knights face their problems, right? in their power, a knight is facing he's facing his battle. He's definitely up for the task, okay? There can be a little bit of, there can be some forceful energy there, actually. So that tells me that you have a lot of pent up energy that you have not been, you've kind of been holding it back. And so when you step onto this path, there's probably going to be a surge of energy. But what's interesting to me is how justice comes out between these two knights. Justice is about, so she can be about like rules and laws. So there may be a case where you're, maybe you're ready to learn the rules. Maybe there's even some legal stuff going on for you with this situation. Maybe you're even, maybe what you're doing has to do with learning about laws, like copyright laws, those kinds of things. also the rules of like, well, how do you make something? There's always a rule when you start getting into a new area. There's all the different kind of hallmarks of that culture that you have to learn. There's a process. And so there's something here in your subconscious about wanting to learn about that, being ready. And she's balancing this forward moving energy, this swift forward moving energy. And this is the cups. So this is like you're sort of acknowledging that there's a lovey-dovey energy toward this thing that you have. You're acknowledging that in your subconscious. Or there's a need for this. That's the other thing. You could be acknowledging this, but there could also just be a need for this, for you to care, pay attention. So a lot of people be like, well, the rules are made for breaking. That is so, so, so true. But also the rules are there to help you in a way, because it tells you how to play. So it tells you how to play the game on the one hand. And then of course, a lot of times as we master something, we learn to break the rules in a way that is our own, in a way that shows who we really are. So there's something here about the Knight of Swords. This is about mental agility, but also there's some truth telling going on here. Okay, so you have a message really that you want to share. You've got some things that you want to say, and if you're a writer, that makes sense. We all have something we want to say. Our stories, and there's a need to temper our desire to get a message across with our art. So I'm seeing this as like a desire to do art, and then this is a desire to like, create a message. I have something to say, and I want to say it artfully so that people listen and get it. So not seeing about the situation. Do I need to pull any more on that? They're saying no. So what are the strengths that you are bringing to this situation? We all have strengths, and sometimes when we're caught in the murk and the fog, we forget that we have these strengths. So what are the strengths that you're bringing with you that you can rely on? You are able to handle a lot more than you, maybe more than you think. Maybe you're highly aware of this ability to carry a huge load. So if this feels like a lot of work, you're able to handle it. You are capable. It's not always going to be easy when you start something new, but it's always, it's always worth it. The Four of Swords. I'm getting that I'm getting that you're good at your self-care is what I'm getting. You know when to rest, which is really important when you've been carrying a load. It's really important to be able to know how to unplug and rest. Knowing when to let go is a tremendous skill. And you have a desire here to serve others with your craft or whatever it is that you're doing. You have a huge desire to share that and to lift people up with the gift of your own passion. And you do feel like you have an ability to do that. You see yourself in the light of somebody who is a winner and somebody who is able to create win-win situations for everyone. What I really like about this card in this deck is usually it shows somebody, it's like the victory card. It usually shows somebody with a laurel wreath on a horse. And in this deck, this shows all these people are happy. She's sharing her roses or her flowers with these people who are clapping for her, and then there's the little banners of like celebration here. But she's sharing, and they're all happy. Like, there isn't anybody in this card who is not thrilled about this. So this is you feeling confident that you're able to bring people together, that you are able to create win-win situations, which I think is a real strength in any creativity. Pitfalls. I like to look for the pitfalls. Not everybody does. I don't pull these cards so that you're like paying attention to them or focusing on them. I want you to be aware for when they show up so that you can step around them. Pitfalls. Internal pitfalls. Let's go first. Okay. So there's something here. This is sometimes people think of these things as strengths, and sometimes your biggest weaknesses are your strengths. There's a tendency here to be a little bit stubborn. Not in a bad way though. Like slow is what I'm getting. Maybe you like weigh every decision to the point where you don't make a decision. There is a tendency, okay, so this is funny because usually we want people to focus on the big picture, but maybe with you there's a tendency to always think of everybody else. You're always thinking of the big picture to the point where you can't make a move on the micro level, on the you level, because you're so afraid of hurting somebody else. You have to get rid of, I shouldn't say get rid of it. You don't have to get rid of it. You have to stop making it hold you back. If you are thinking about other people so much that you can't do something that benefits you, then you aren't really going to be of service to those other people that you care so much about. You have to trust in your ability to do this thing in a way that is serving others. In your strengths position, you know that you can. And so in the pitfalls section here, again, look, I love it. I love this. It's the pitfall energy. This is the same card in different decks. The Daughter of Wands is the Page of Wands. And there's that tendency to hold back, see the big picture, and not serve this energy, not take the chance because you're afraid of either hurting other people close to you. Maybe people are depending on you to stay in your old safe story because that's what makes them comfortable. Could be that you have kids, could be a partnership that will feel threatened if you change your direction drastically. Either way, that energy, this is you. You want to do this, but there is a tendency to deny yourself that. And I think you're taking care of others. I think you're worrying too much about what other people think is what I think. All right, pitfalls, watch out. Let's go with some external pitfalls. These are like so-called external, really nothing, esoterically nothing is external. But in the 3D, we have other people, we have situations. Okay, that showed itself, so we're gonna take that one. We have the Ace of Pentacles. Okay, that's screaming money to me. You're gonna worry about money. Maybe this thing is gonna cost you either in, you may have to downshift your work in order to do this thing on the side, and you're worried that it won't make enough money for you. Or maybe it's going to cost you money to get education that you need. Or maybe you're just worried that the money isn't there. So why bother? Like, why not just keep it a little hobby for myself? The only reason to go out with it is to secure a little bit of, oh, it could also be status. They're saying this could be status. My apologies. The reading got interrupted. I forgot to turn off my ringer on my phone and a call came through. I think we're all set now. Hopefully that won't happen again. Okay, so we were saying that the Ace of Pentacles is about, so it's either about money or this could be about reward. So there could be a pitfall to want, like maybe, like knowing that you can help people is also a trap, is what they're telling me. There's a trap here where you're like, your goal, like where you can turn this into a goal. And being confident that you can rally a crowd, being confident that you can create win-win situations. Be careful that that does not become about a badge of honor for you. Okay, that's what they're telling me here. Be careful of this energy becoming a badge of honor. Don't make it about ego. Keep it about the collective. This is your strength in the collective energy. Don't make it about you. This is not a badge of honor for you. It's just a skill that you have. You're very lucky, but that doesn't mean that you should be shooting for that. That shouldn't be the goal, like, of the whole thing. You let our ego get too wrapped up in what others think, and we start building a life upon that, and then it's very easy to shatter that life. All right. Two more external pitfalls. The Seven of Cups and the Fool. Okay, so you, these are not like, these might be fears that you have, but they might be more, basically they're more realistic fears is what they are. So the Seven of Cups is about having too many choices. This is like, beware of that tendency to be all into all of the shiny objects. You need to choose, and especially if you're doing a passion as a side thing, you need to focus your energy. You need to make choices. You can't just have this kind of general, it's scattered is what I'm hearing. Like, you can't have this scattered energy. You've got to focus. And there can be a tendency to, once you go after one little shiny object, you like decide, okay, I'm going to entertain my passion. And now I'm going to, oh, I see something else. I really love that and I want to do that too. You have to pick, at least for a while. And after a while, when you get good at this other thing, you can come back and maybe entertain another thing. And the Fool energy, this is like, be careful of leaping without, it's like naivety. Like, it's not about being scared of taking the leap. It's about knowing, you may not know that the net is there to catch you, but you have definitely watched yourself you've definitely like mitigated your risks is what I'm hearing. So you may not know, you never can really know when you take a chance like this. You can never really know that it's going to work out for sure, but you can mitigate risks, and that can go a long way toward basically, you know, if you fail, then it's not really like, again, I don't like to tell people to have a backup plan. I think in some ways you have to really trust yourself, but it's not a bad thing to have a backup plan, I guess. What I guess I don't want is for you to focus on the backup plan. But the Fool card in this position lets us know that it's really good to not put all of your all of your eggs in one basket. So there is, again, I'm coming back to here where I just told you that you have to focus on one thing, and then here I'm telling you not to focus on one thing. So what is that about, Spirit? I'm going to pull another card. This is a clarifier for this situation. What is this really trying to tell us? Okay, there's something here about being trapped and failure. So I guess what they're telling you is to watch out for, okay, they're telling me now. They're telling me to watch out for keeping your options open. You make a choice and you go hard for it, right? But you know deep down inside that there are a billion ways that you can do the same thing. It's about not trapping yourself in one story, in one way of getting there. That if you make a bad choice, knowing and trusting that if you make a bad choice that you can come out of it okay. That all that really does when you go down a wrong road is it shows you that that road wasn't the right way for you right now. Okay. You might be able to take a different route to get there. That's what that was about. All right, so guidance for moving through this energy in your power. I'm going to pull some oracle cards and then we'll wrap up the reading. So this has been a personal issue. I love it, full moons. This has been a personal issue for you for a while, and you're going to be reaching a resolution very soon. The answers you need are coming. I don't think that could be any clearer. I think you'll be getting some information around this next full moon. Not information, you'll be getting the resolve, or something is gonna, I think a lot of you, something's gonna click. When it says nothing is yet set in stone, that means that stay flexible. Make a decision, but stay flexible, if that makes sense. Will make sense to some of you. More guidance. There are going to be people along this path that you're deciding that are going to be able to help you. You're not going to be alone. Okay? When you start following your passion, you start meeting people who really show you a different way of looking at the world. They'll like, you know, they may not be like best friends, but some of these people will really light up your world with a connection that you like never thought possible. Between worlds, okay? This is that place where you've decided to go for it, but you're still keeping one foot in the old world. And so during the learning phase, and that's what the page is the learning phase, okay? It's okay to do that for a while in the learning phase. And that's where you're at with this, whatever this is. You're dipping your toe in, you're going for it, but you haven't made the full decision. Like, I'm not getting like a quitting your job energy here. I'm getting a, you know, going to school, taking lessons, creating something, deciding to create something. This is not like the full energy shift world. You're in this space, and it's okay to be here for a short time. It's okay to be here when you're learning, but there will come a point where you have to make that decision. So again, that comes back to this, remember this energy here of all the different cups that you have to choose between, the confusion. It's okay to be between worlds temporarily, but at some point you have to step into the new one. And then there's something here about leaving behind this old, like confused, self-sabotaging energy and stepping into your own light. Once you make that decision, you can't go back, okay? But you're not there yet, and that is okay. You have to honor this stage of exploring and, you know, moving toward, taking a firm step toward figuring out what it is that you want. As in protection mode. To be fair, so there's a need here. Again, we're getting lots and lots of balance energy between. To be fair is about balance. It's about figuring out what's fair for yourself. I have a feeling that you have been worried about others a lot, and it's time to think about what's fair for you as well. You need to weigh yourself into this equation. And what's fair for others may not be fair for you. And so you have to finally face the idea that, that you matter. Okay? And your happiness matters. So that's all I've got for you guys today. I hope this reading was helpful to some of you. And again, I'll be back next week with more readings and at least one more video about writing or creative empowerment. I haven't figured out what that's going to be yet. Probably just going to let the spirit move me. If you're liking my videos, I would love it if you subscribed, liked, commented. It does help me. It helps me know that you like my content. When you like it, it helps other people also find it. It helps tell YouTube that this was useful to you and that more people should see it. So, have a great holiday for those of you celebrating, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.